What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
BlueNote, give Ryan a headache report. Hey, how are you all doing? I know it's been a little while since we've seen each other. Tomorrow at 4:15 Central Daylight Time. Guess who got invited back on NHL Radio on the Power Play? That's right, Mick is inviting me back on. We're going to talk about the Blues and their offseason. And I thought before I did that, maybe I should give you guys a chance to ring in. And speaking of ringing in, it is the blind man himself, Justin Scott.
This guy.
Right? You know I'm messing with you, right?
No, you're good. Yeah. I know you're messing with me.
I just want to make sure, buddy. I just want to make sure. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Hey.
I know you've been asking me to do a show, and I just had other things going on or wasn't feeling it. And, with the radio spot coming up tomorrow, I figured it best to sit down. And we talked about doing one yesterday, but kind of the schedule coming out today was kind of the better thing to do it with. They did the Blues released their schedule today. 82 games. Next season it'll be 84. I'm excited. I'll admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I was under the impression that I would have liked to see a 2-game extension on the regular season for sure.
What? Say that again, bud.
I said I'm excited too. I was always under the impression that I wanted to see an extension at the end of the season. So instead of 82 games, we get an 84 game schedule next season. Like you're saying.
Yeah. I like that. I like the fact that they're doing the. I hold on a second. I'm trying to do like 3 different things, and I'm not doing too good at any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they went to the 84 games. And I think what a lot of people don't realize or understand is that more games is actually better. It's not worse, right? Like in MLB, they talked about for a long time about bringing it back to 152 games or something like that, like taking out 8 or 9 games. And if you would have done that, like the 2011 Cardinals, if they'd have done that, if they'd have brought back the schedule, the Cardinals don't make the postseason, right?
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
And then the NFL, they've increased over the years from 16 to 18 games. When it was a 16-game schedule, there were plenty of times you had a team with an under 500 record making the playoffs.
Yeah,
well, now that they've expanded it, you have less of that, right? Mm-hmm. That has always been a complaint in the NHL that you're getting teams that don't have the not above the 82 point margin making the playoffs. Well, now that's going. It'll go away with more games. and that increase, it'll go away. You'll get more teams being above the 500 mark than below the 500 mark, right? And that is something that happens when you increase the games. Now, mathematically, it shouldn't. It should be the opposite. But for some reason, it works. It works that way. The more games you get, better teams in the playoffs. You seem to have the cream of the crop making the playoffs. And then I go back and I think I remember the 2006 Cardinals, and they won being 2 games. They won the World Series being 2 games above 500, if I remember right. Ryan Green saying he was wondering. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I just was saying. I was saying like the people that like, if you're a hockey fan, you know, at heart, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, 84 games, it's awesome. Like you're gonna probably have, you know, maybe the mindset that we do about being excited about an extension on the regular season, but it's not like a over abundance of a extension. It's not like baseball where you have 162 games. Like baseball, they need to cut that way down. Like 162 games of baseball is absolutely ridiculous.
I disagree so much. It's not even funny how much I disagree. You know, and like I just said, if you do that, if you cut it back, the 2011 Cardinals don't win the World Series because they don't even make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
With those with the 100, since they've expanded the games, they've gotten more of these battles late. Those battles, the battles that they weren't getting, everyone was afraid that by more games you would get less battles. That it would, and it hasn't. It's actually given more battles. Those extra games really do mean something. Let's see. Aaron Nell says, "Let's go Blues." Ryan says, "I can't believe some people's projected roster for the Blues this season." We'll get into that. Glad Byron discussion is over. Byron was never coming here. I think that was one of those, let's kick the tires and see what shakes out and see how motivated they are to sell. And if they're not, like,
I will say,
go ahead.
I will say with the Byram thing, I didn't expect him to come here, but as for like a thing of like, do I think that he would have came here, like he would have been all right coming here? I 100% think he would have been all right coming here. I think I definitely don't think he wanted to stay in Buffalo, clearly. But I mean, they ended up getting that deal done. But I didn't think it was going to happen. But I do think the Blues were in that discussion. I don't see how they weren't.
I think that the Blues. I again, that's kind of like what I was just talking. I think it was a kick the tire thing. It's like you're like, okay, I don't need a new car. It'd be nice to have one. They got all these sales going on. Let me go out there and see, and maybe I can, even with the sale price, get a little bit better and get something. Oh well, maybe I can afford that. It was kind of like one of those things to me, right?
The way that I think about Byram is, what I think probably most likely happened was, from what we heard from, I believe the GM over there is Kevin Adams, right? Am I getting that right? So. Over in Buffalo. So, Adams coming out and saying like, oh, we want guys who will play for us now and help us win now. My guess is if the Blues came to him and offered him something, it was the only return that they probably would have taken was Kyrou, and the Blues are not getting rid of Kyrou.
Absolutely agree with you with that. I absolutely agree with you that. We'll get into some of that more later. Let's get into the 3 major topics we have for the day, and then we'll open it up and kind of go on some other rants. The schedule released today. The Blues play 11 games in October. Now, I don't know how you like to break the season up. I like to break it up in 8 games, right? Because 82 games. 8.1 game or 8.2 games is 10% of the season, right? So,
yeah,
I break it up into 8 games. The first 8 games the Blues play, and are you ready for this? The Minnesota Wild, the Calgary Flames, Vancouver Canucks, Chicago Blackhawks, Dallas Stars, Los Angeles Kings, Utah Mammoths, and the Detroit Red Wings. Those are the first 8 games.
Mhm.
5 of those games are pretty damn tough.
Yeah. I'd say for the most part, honestly, I was looking at the schedule. I think obviously it's competitive, and I'm not going to write off any team right now per se. But like I look at it, do I think the Blues could beat every one of those teams? Yeah. They're not going to go out and go 8-0. I mean, not going to happen. I mean, just being realistic. But I mean, I look at a team like Detroit. I think the Blues can beat Detroit. I don't think Detroit's much of a threat. LA. I think LA is a great team. They're going to be a good team, but they are completely different on the road than they are at home. At home, they're good. On away, they're kind of just there. So a team like LA, I can see them beating Minnesota. They've kind of had some struggles with Minnesota over the last couple seasons, but they did have Minnesota's number there for the longest time. But,
yeah, it's also this is the return of Tarasenko because he got traded to Minnesota, so he will come back to St. Louis, and that's. If I'm home, I don't know yet, but if I'm home and I get to go to that game, I'm going to see Terry. I'm going to see Tarasenko. I'm wearing a Tarasenko jersey. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice if you were down here for that. I'm hoping to go to home openers. I'm hoping to go to the home opener as well.
I saw a rumor Kyrou said no to a trade to Boston. It's annoying these insiders just trying to be relevant during the offseason with some outrageous clickbait. 90% of that. There was a website that was getting posted, and somebody that I know and I love and I trust her, and she would send them to me and say, "What do you think?" I tried to open one of it up, and all it was trying to put a virus on my phone. Right, so I couldn't even read the article. I couldn't even read the article because it flipped into something else. So at this point, I'm backing off. Right, I'm backing off, and I said it's just a junk website, so I can't even read the article. So when it comes to Kyrou, first of all, I have said this before. If I was a GM and I'm a GM and I have Connor McDavid, okay, or I have John Jimmy Bimbob and he's the best player in the game, and I get a call from Umpty Squat team saying, "Hey, just wondering if you'd be willing to listen to an offer on Jimmy Bimbob," and they came out with an offer that was like 10 for 1, and I'm looking at an offer going, "Holy cow! I mean, this makes me a better team." I'd have to listen to it, right? I'd have to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. I think. First of all, if you're a GM, this is why I like Doug so much. I mean, if you're a GM, you have to do what is best for your team. And sometimes that comes with backlash. I mean, how many people backlash when Bolduc got traded? And I can understand that frustration and all that. But, when it comes to guys like Kyrou, you got to always be open to, even if they're your best player, your best goal scorer, you got to be open to teams coming to you and saying, "Hey, what would you want?" Or, what are you willing to offer for said player? That's a good GM. If a GM is not open to hearing other offers to try for another team to make your team possibly better, then you're not a good GM. I'm sorry, you're just not. You have to be open.
I want to address this comment. Yeah. AC Generator says, "How was the first 8 hard? 5 weren't playoff teams and 2 lost in the first round." Jimmy Bimbob, future consideration.
I don't think me personally.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, when I saw the opening schedule, I didn't have the same thoughts as you did. I actually thought that the Blues schedule in the beginning of the season was actually relatively easy. To me, at least.
I took a step back and I said, okay, what have these teams done in the offseason? Have they gotten a little better or worse, or where at? And I've heard this. I've heard the Blues have not gotten any better during the offseason. I completely disagree with that.
Which is a lie. There's an
article in The Athletic that talked about ranked, how much better teams are than they, and they had the Blues at a -1. And the reason they had them with the Blues with the -1, I absolutely agreed with. I couldn't believe it because when I saw it at first, I was like, no, I don't. They basically said, what you're giving up in Bolduc, what you're getting in return. Mailou hasn't proven himself yet. And where he's at right now, the takeaway from giving them a -1 is actually a gift, right? It was a gift in their eyes because they could have taken more away, right? They did say that they did say that not Suter, the other guy, was an upgrade over Fosca Bukstrand, right?
Bjorkstrand, Oliver Brooks.
Yeah,
Bjorkstrand.
However you say it. I'm waiting for Ranger to come and tell me how fucked up I am.
Bukestad, sorry, Bukestad.
Bukestad, yeah. Bukestad is better, an upgrade over Fosca. I agree with that.
Fox.
Right? And then Suter coming in, my issue with Suter was when the money was first announced, I was like, hell yeah, because it got announced wrong. It got announced at $4 million for 2 years, not $4 million per year, right? So it got announced wrong, and when it came out with the right money, so you wanna say you look at what we're paying our centers, and there's a good chance our third string center's making $6 million a year. Right.
Yeah. and I understood, some questionable, for people's doubts, in that moment. But I liked Suter's game in Vancouver, and he's actually, he's a proven guy. I know he's a, really try hard guy. Like he really puts in the effort in, most games. So for me, I don't have a problem, especially with the cap and everything going up as well. I didn't have a problem with that signing.
Well,
I think the doubt lies with. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, let's go back over these 8 games, right? The first 8 games, Minnesota Wild. They're like you, and you said it right off the get go. Lately, we've had some trouble with them, right? I think Tarasenko and Kaprizov. That could be something that clicks. Tarasenko could break out this year with being with Kaprizov.
Yeah, he could have a good season. For me, and I've said this to you before, Guy. I am not a big Minnesota fan. Like I think so low of Minnesota, if I'm completely honest. The Blues have had struggles with him, but it's not so much that the Blues have had struggle with him because of how Minnesota has played. I just feel like every time we play Minnesota, they just get the luckiest bounces I think I've ever seen a team get in my life. It's weird to say that because they're professionals, but God, dude, some of the goals and just some of the fluky stuff that we see against Minnesota, it's not skillful. It's just luck.
Yeah, I get it. I get where you're coming. Then you have the Flames. So a team that just missed, basically the only reason they weren't in the playoffs is because we had a tiebreaker over them. That they're still going to be a tough team in my eyes. Vancouver's interesting. Vancouver, until we see Vancouver, to me, they could be the Nashville Predators of last year. They made good moves, but they made some question mark moves. So they could either have a really good season or they're gonna have a jump season. So that's where we're at. The Blackhawks, I think that they're vying for the number 1 overall pick again. I don't think I know Wendy says that he likes where they're, but he's been saying they're 3 years away for the last 3 years. They're always they never get into that. Oh, now we're only 2 years away. He keeps saying they're 3 years away. Then you have the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars are a good team. They are a contender right at the start of the season. Right? I got to say that. I think they're a contender right at the start of the season.
I think Dallas is the Central is tough. But Dallas will be in the top portion. I don't know how how well they'll do. I have my I think I have my favorite for the Central Division this season, and it's not Dallas. So I'm just saying that now. I won't get into it now because we're going to do a prediction, show and everything.
Yeah, we'll do that later. I mean, we'll do it later, but go ahead.
I think Dallas to me, they're still going to be competitive, but I do think that they might take a few steps back, to be honest. Like, I think they were really good last season, but I think they will take a little bit of a step back. Okay. They'll still be competitive, but I think they'll take a step back. I think Minnesota are, we're not talking about them currently, but I think Winnipeg also takes a step back because they're not going to win the President's
okay.
Yeah,
then you have the Kings. Kings have been a good team. I don't think that they got worse. The Mammoth, you got to look at the Mammoth and go, I mean, they had a good first season in Utah. And again, I know they're calling them an expansion team, but they're not. They've made some moves. They've got some opportunity to make some noise. So you can't look down on them. The Red Wings, they may have taken a step back, but I'm not completely sure. I just look at this schedule and I go, some of these teams could be a lot tougher than you think. And that's the way I kind of looked at
it. The Red Wings, it's kind of like the same that I feel about Vancouver. Vancouver and the Red Wings, or in Detroit, sorry. Both of them are what I like to describe in the mucky middle. They're just kind of there. Like, I don't really know what Detroit's doing. They should have been in the playoffs like a few seasons ago already now. And they just continue to regress somehow. And Vancouver is such a hit or miss. Like, they're like the definition of mid. I mean, I don't think like Minnesota mid, but like they're pretty close.
So they brought back the Halloween game, October 30th against the Canucks. And then they are having a Veterans Day game, November 11th with the Calgary Flames. I would love to see how they get the Blues Warriors hockey involved in that. One of these days I'm going to make it home for one of those games, being a veteran myself. Christmas, they play the day after Christmas. They're in New Jersey. Then the two home games they have pardon me. This is Thanksgiving. Let me go back. Thanksgiving, over to Thanksgiving, they've got Ottawa and the Mammoths. Christmas, they play 2 days after Christmas. They have Nashville and Buffalo, and then they'll do a New Year's Eve game on the 31st in Colorado. Then they come back home on January 2nd against the Knights. I'm trying to see. In February, they only have 4 games because of the break. Predators, Dallas, Kraken, and Devils because of the Olympic break there. I would like to see them do the Olympic break, but not break the season. I honestly would. I'd like to see them. I'd like to figure out a way to do the break, but not kill the season, not strand the season, right? Like during the Olympic break, do some type of tournament, right? Especially like where are the Olympics at this year? They're in Europe, if I remember right, or somewhere where it's going to be like late night games. It's not, the games aren't going to be in our time zone. You know what I mean? So that's just something that, how I feel about it. The last game of the season is in Utah on April 16th. I like what they did with the schedule. I wish so the season actually starts October 7th. Last year it started October 15th, or in Milan. Okay. That's Italy, right?
Yeah.
So almost,
yeah.
So the games are going to be on like at 8 a.m, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the times are going to be wonky there for sure. I don't know what they could I know you mentioned a tournament. I don't know really I don't know what they could do tournament wise, but yeah, I get what you're saying about not breaking it.
How about doing under 30 or under 25 tournament with 4 teams from each of the divisions?
Yeah, I mean it's an idea. I mean, obviously we're talking about it now. I mean, it's nothing that's going to be in the works. If they were planning that, I feel like that that would already be in the works. But that I don't think that's going to happen.
Going to happen. I'm just saying something I would like.
Future reference.
The break in the season, I didn't mind it with the four nation tournament because you had something. Yeah. Now what you have is during the prime watching hours, you're going to be tape delayed, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you have, tape delayed for the Olympics. And great, some of those sports are fun to watch. I'd rather have my hockey, right?
Yeah. I do not like when there's long stretches, without getting to see hockey.
We just got slammed, Justin. You ready for
what?
This?
No, yeah.
Ranger Ryan Green says, when is the Blue Note going through a rebrand? If the Blues can do it and change announcers, maybe the show needs a new name and new host. Well, I'll say this. Justin is the new host, so that's kind of our rebrand. And I don't have the money to do a new logo. Plain and simple. I just don't have it. I'm not going away. I mean, if you want me to, I can stop the show altogether, but I'm not the name staying. And so if you go over this show's had 4 names, right? Mm-hmm. 4 names. I think this is the best one. And actually, when I went to it, the majority of the people didn't like the name, but I thought it was the best name. And since I've chosen this name, the shows that have come out with the same type of name, like the name wasn't there before the show came out. So it started as the pregame rant. Then it was A View from Afar. So actually it's had 5 names. Then it was the Hawaii Blues Fan Show. Or no, 4 names. Hawaii Blues Fan Show. And then it turned into the Blue Note Fan Report. When I made this the Blue Note Fan Report, there were no other Blue Note shows out there. I think there was one website that said Blue Notes or something like that, but there were no shows. You go out now, and since I started the Blue Note, it's all Blue Note. Mm-hmm. Blue Note Fan Forum. There's 4 or 5 shows. I actually could go out and make them cease and desist because I've had the name longer than they have.
Yeah. I like the name. I like the name. But that's just me, my opinion.
I'm the old fart this show can't pass. Well, I know I'm the old fart, but hey, I started the show. So, and when you think of the 4 names, when you think of the 4 names we've had, I think Blue Note Fan Report's the best one. Honestly,
I do too. Out of the ones you just told me, I think this one is the best one.
Right. So pregame rant was I came on. I first started doing lives, and I came on and I did a couple of lives, and that was the pregame rant. And then I kind of figured out that I could do it through. I could record it and do it on and edit. I figured out how to edit, and mm-hmm. There was a time I was going to write for for the Blues, the newspaper that they used to do, the fan paper, right? And I was going to I wanted to call my article A View from Afar. Sure, Wendy. The link you have from the last show should work. If it doesn't, let me know. Because, here, I lived here and, so it worked on paper, for written, but as a video show, it didn't work as well. It didn't okay, I get it. So that's when I first brought up names, a couple people brought out, oh man, I can't speak. brought out the Hawaii Blues Fan because they thought just call it the Hawaii Blues Fan Show, and that's what I went with, and that wasn't bad. But a lot of times I would get people saying, "Where's the blues music?" Right?
Yeah.
And that kind of, yay, Sister JJ. That kind of just, maybe I do need to change, right? So, and I always liked the Blue Note because I always said it was by the fans, for the fans, and about the fans. And I wanted a name that encapsulated that motto, right? If I'm going to sit there and say this is a show by the fans, for the fans, and about the fans, I need a name that says that. And to me, the Blue Note Fan Report covered that, and that's why I went.
Well, and
go ahead.
Well, and you have to kind of it's about the fans, and and you got to tie it in with that, but you also got to think about it as this, you're covering the St. Louis Blues, so you have to also tie that in.
Yeah.
You have two things that you have to tie together, and I think the Blue Note Fan Report, it works. I like it. Am I going to sit here and say it's the best name ever? No, but it's out of what you presented me, this is the best name.
For what we do on the show, it works, right?
Yes. It does.
And it is what it is. Whether I'm watched or not, I don't care. I'm happy with it. Wendy might not have been able to get on.
Hey, my new hat isn't rebrand enough for you guys. Come on, man. That's a nice hat, all right? Come on.
Hold on a second. Let me send Wendy a message here. Windy City Hawkeye. I like having Wendy on, and I get, okay, he's a Blackhawks fan. Fine. That's, you have to, it has to be a fun, what do you call it? Banter between it. It can't be hard on, just, I hate you because you're a Blackhawks fan. I can't do that.
God damn it. Why'd you get this guy on here?
Ryan
I'm just kidding, Wendy.
Justin, he just said it's not the best name.
Yeah. I'm getting canned after the show, guys. Nice knowing you.
Generator says NHL has 736 players, 32 times 23, and Olympic rosters have 25. If the U.S., Canada, and Sweden take just NHLers, probably another 50 between the remaining. Your attorney would have to be just Russian guy. Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, if you could do something like an all-star style tournament and take guys under the age of I don't know, 30 maybe. The RFAs, just do RFAs, because a lot of those RFAs aren't going to be going to play, right? A lot of them aren't, and I think that, again, my issue is the games in Milan are going to be at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, right? They're not going to be, so prime watching time, you've got no live hockey.
Actually, if you are kind of stupid and actually are awake to watch the games, because I used to watch like the Australian Ice Hockey League. Those games are usually on at like 2 in the morning local. So I'm like, I'll throw that on, watch some hockey because their season's on in the summer. So, to have hockey running, I'm able to watch those games. But since it's in the middle of the season, I will be waking up in the early hours to watch the games live.
Oh, I mean, I probably, but I will too. But for me, it probably won't be as bad. But it comes out during 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 7 to 10. You have no live hockey. Unless you're going to go watch the AHL, you get the AHL package and watch that. right?
Mhm.
Why not take some of this and put in a little 4-game, do some type of small round robin tournament with what some of the players you got left over? I can't see it, bud. It's not showing up. You can send it to me and then I can try and post it. Send me it. You're not on Facebook. Damn it. I don't know how to get the schedule from you, AC. Maybe I don't have my phone on me, I have to go grab my phone. Maybe you can text it to me and I can send it over that way.
Ryan, I will have to say no, the Sharks are not getting better than the Blackhawks because they literally did the same exact thing the Hawks did last offseason, getting crappy players just to fill roster spot and make it to the cap floor. The Sharks are not doing anything better to make themselves a better team.
So I don't know. You might have. I kind of took a dig at you, Wendy, and I didn't mean it as a dig, but it was for the last 3 years. You've been saying the Blackhawks are 3 years away.
No, I haven't. I've been saying 5 years, 4 years, and now I'm at the 3-year mark. Last year was a delayed. It was about, I was saying 3.5 last year because I was thinking maybe they will get better, but now I'm at the 3-year mark.
Okay.
I feel for Bedard. Chicago has not put anybody around Bedard that is going to be anywhere fulfilling enough for that kid.
Doesn't help when
really come out.
The team is going to be probably the youngest team in the NHL this year.
Well, yeah, but they got to go out and surround him with guys that
you can't surround a guy when they aren't available. They would have gone out this year and spent money if Mitch Marner was available. If Nikolai Ehlers didn't want to go to the East, the Hawks were a team that were going to go after bigger names this offseason, but they weren't available.
Yeah, well, Mitch Marner was available, but he was never going to Chicago.
No, he wasn't available because he technically was traded a day before free agency opened and got and signed with the Golden Knights as soon as he got traded. So he wasn't available.
Well, I mean, he was. Yes and no.
Chicago had nothing to trade for Marner. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but they took the package from Vegas, but I'm sure Marner is way more happier to go to Vegas than he is to go to Chicago. No offense. I mean, I'm at the point where
it's better idea to have a younger roster versus
Marner's chasing a ring. Marner's chasing a ring and was not going to a rebuilding team. I had in a group I was in, they kept saying, "Oh, he's going out for the money. He's going for the money. He's going," and I said, "No, he's not. He's going for a ring. If he was going for the money, he stays in Toronto." And the other big thing, I mean, this year's free agency, as far as news, was pretty much a bust because of the 8-year thing going away. A lot of players took advantage of that. Right? Next year, you can't sign a player for 8 years. You can only sign him for 7. And outside of his own team, he can only sign for 6. Right? So what you're going to see, and what I think you're going to see, is you're going to see the big number on the contracts be there, but the years aren't. You're going to still see the same. You're going to see the same amount of money that we're seeing now, and it's just going to be in shorter years. I think that's all they've done. And I know the cap's going up a good amount, which is really good. It means the NHL's healthy. The one thing, and we'll get into this here in a little bit, but, well, I mean, we can get into it now. We can roll into it now. The second thing that we were going to talk about, and the thing that's behind, the three of us here, was JK. John Kelly was let go by... Now, let's make sure we understand this. John Kelly was an employee of FanDuel Sports Network. He was not an employee of the St. Louis Blues. However, the St. Louis Blues do have veto or partnership rights with FanDuel, right? He was let go by FanDuel, not the Blues. However, it was a mutual agreement. Now, I get it. I understand what's going on. This was a business decision, plain and simple. And if you want to know what was going on, it goes back to Fox Sports. Fox Sports took what was originally, I think it was, what was it? Sportsnet or Sports Nation or something like that. What was the group of, there was ESPN and there was just like local, oh God, I can't remember what it's called. I know Chicago had them for a while.
I don't even know, to be honest.
Was it Sportsnet, Wendy?
Sportsnet? That's probably what
Chicago, it was Comcast.
No, before that. Way before that, Wendy.
Was it Sportsnet, but it was but Comcast purchased them.
Well, yeah, what happened? So you had Sportsnet, and there were Sportsnets pretty much all out, and Fox went and bought Sportsnet, and Comcast went in there, NBC, and got little sections of it, right? So Fox Sports took the local. Fox Sports made it work. NBC kind of sort of made it work. But you had these local networks, right? Local kind of, they were focused local. Sportsnet. Yeah, that's what I thought it was, Sportsnet. And it kind of broke up, and you had Comcast take some of it, and then you had Fox Sports take some of it. Well, Fox Sports kind of, so this is basically almost like Fox Sports 2 or Fox Sports Local or however you want to look at it. It kind of ran it in the ground, right? And when they got to the point where they almost did the mob thing. You run it in the ground, run the ground until there's nothing left, and then you just burn it down or you get rid of it. Well, that's what they did, and they sold it to Bally's, and they sold it to Bally's for way more than what it was worth. And when you buy these networks, or you do that, when you buy a business, you're not buying it for now, you're buying it for 10 years, and that's how it's being priced out. Well, that means for the first 2 or 3 years, you're going to take some losses until you can figure out how to expand and cover those, because you bought it, you paid for 10 years worth, you can't make that up in 1 year. So it takes a little bit. Bally overpaid, and then FanDuel comes in, and FanDuel gets their money. And now FanDuel got it at a discount, but they still overpaid. And they're behind, and they've got some lawsuits going on and some other issues like that. So they're struggling a little bit. And this was a cost-cutting move. It doesn't save a lot of money, but it's a cost-cutting move. One of the things now is FanDuel is basically not paying any announcers because the radio guys are Blues employees, right? In St. Louis, oh man, I hate when I blank like this.
I thought St. Louis was going to simulcast between.
They are.
Yeah, they
Okay.
are.
But Chris Kerber and Joey Vitale are paid for by the Blues. They're Blues employees. They're actually Blues employees. They do the
radio? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they do the events. They do like season ticket holder events and all these other things that the TV guys don't do. The TV guys were not beholden to the Blues, where Chris Kerber's the president or the vice president of media for the Blues. Like the buck stops with him when it comes to media. Right? So they're actually Blues employees. And this is what I think a lot of people didn't understand. right? And my issue is, I understand it, but legends need to go out on their own terms. And John Kelly is a legend in both the St. Louis and I would feel the hockey circle. Hockey, he's been out there for 3 teams. I know he was in Colorado for a while. I think he was with Florida before that, the Panthers for a little while when they first came into the league. So, I mean, he to me, you could put him in the legend category. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think a legend needs to go out. Say again?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing. He's great. I mean, I put him in there. I think he's fantastic. But I'll give my thoughts.
Who was the Blackhawks guy that just retired not too long ago?
Pat Foley?
Yeah, Pat Foley. Foley went out on his own terms.
And now he just does Pat still does some games, but not just for the Blackhawks. He hasn't done a Hawks game since the Winter Classic, because he was on the radio broadcast for the Winter Classic, for the national broadcast. But he's been doing more of the radio national broadcasts on NHL Network the last 2 seasons. He's not doing every game. He's just doing every maybe 2 or 3 games a season. However, he did retire a couple of years ago.
And I think back to I hate that I can't remember their names because they've done it for so long. But the last season for the Rangers announced team, they got to go out there on their own terms. Like, granted, they had to watch a very underperforming Rangers team, which was disappointing for them. But I love those guys over there too, and they got the send off. They got a full season send off as well. So
yeah, and I just feel like JK should have gone out on his own fruition, right? He should have gone out on his own. He should have gone out on his own terms, right? And he didn't.
So how is the simulcasting happening for St. Louis? Are they just using the radio guys to do the broadcast?
Chris Kerber and Joey Vitale are going to do the broadcast. They're going to be on TV and on the radio at the same time.
Okay, so they're going the Buffalo Sabres route. 3 years ago, after Rick Jeanneret retired for Buffalo, they ended up going simulcast radio broadcast with TV broadcast at the same time. There's rumors the Hawks were considering going that way, but they decided against it because the radio broadcasts in Chicago means so much to a lot of people up there. John Weideman and Troy Murray remained on the radio broadcast, and then they obviously now have Rick Ball, who did the Calgary Flames for almost 11 years, and last year was his first year with the Hawks, and then Darren Pang as his color analyst. But the Blackhawks actually employ all their broadcasters. It's not through their networks.
Yeah. If I could,
I gotta no, because I know Darren Pang is employed by.
No, he's employed by the Blackhawks.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Technically now, because
he was with TNT, wasn't he? Darren Pang.
He's employed by the Blackhawks. What it is, the Blackhawks are always been a team where they employ their broadcasters. When he left St. Louis, the Blackhawks came in and signed him to be color analyst in Chicago. It was the Blackhawks who did that, not, at the time, NBC Sports Chicago. Now we're with a new network that is actually technically owned by the Blackhawks and Bulls, called Chicago Sports Network. The broadcasters, though, are employees of, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay. I was not sure about that. I mean, I knew it well, because NBC doesn't have their sports network anymore, right?
No, it's It's the Chicago Sports Network up there.
Yeah, so NBC kind of gave their networks back, right? Wendy is correct. Vitali didn't even play for us. I get it. The Blues have the final say on who called their game. Lance, I've seen some of the stuff you posted about this, and Lance, you're welcome to come on if you want. But I do know from my conversation with Panger when he was here, and my conversation, I've had other conversations. That's not. They may get to say okay, but I don't think they had final say. I really don't.
I think for me, okay, so I kind of, I know how you feel about it, Guy. Like I seen what you kind of posted, with, in regards to, them letting, JK go. So I kind of know where you stand. And I do agree that a guy of that caliber deserves, a full send-off, a complete send-off. And I want to believe that, JK also, kind of mutually parted ways. And that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, more in a positive way. But I'm also thinking about it more maybe in a more positive way than most people might think about it. And the way I think about it is the rebuild, or the retool, sorry. Or not the retool, the rebrand. My bad. The Blues are rebranding. So that's the positive spin I'm putting on this. And I know people go, well, Curbs and Joey, they're on the radio, so it's not really new. But, like, they're not on the TV broadcast. So that's kind of how I'm kind of spinning it in a positive way to be a little bit more positive than, more people would be. But I understand why people are angry. I understand it completely. I agree that JK deserved a send-off.
No, I get it, and I don't want to get into this argument, about who owns them. I just feel like this was more of a FanDuel decision than it was a Blues decision, right? Plain and simple. FanDuel can't afford them, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Lance, I don't want to get in an argument with you either, buddy. I love you. You know that. Sorry, man. It's going to bother me now. Give me a second to regroup. Because they don't want to take the responsibility. That's why they're being sued. FanDuel's got a lawsuit. Chris was telling me something about FanDuel's got a lawsuit being out right now. See, I don't think that a gambling institution should own a TV network.
I mean, you guys are we're under Bally, which was a gambling company also.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. I didn't think that they should have owned it either.
I thought it was weird when it was announced that FanDuel took over from Bally, because all they did was basically take the contract and broadcasting rights, and it's not changed at all. It's just change of logo from Bally to FanDuel. FanDuel and FanDuel, frankly, I should just stick to what they're known for, is just sports betting, not broadcasting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know the purpose of it is, to bring more money into their.
It's just advertising for FanDuel. That's all it is.
The problem is, doesn't the conflict of interest leap up? I mean, doesn't the conflict of interest just it's players can't gamble. Players can't even, a player cannot even go, an employee of the NHL. In fact, in one of my fantasy leagues, we had a guy get employed by one of the teams, and he had to drop out of the fantasy league. They're not even allowed to play fantasy, a fantasy sport that's got a $50 entry fee for the year. And now you have networks. You watch ESPN's broadcast, and it's got, what's FanDuel and who's the other one? DraftKings. right? The draft, the line, and this and that. And I'm like, that doesn't belong here.
It's going to be a thing with how almost all the states are basically legalizing sports betting at this point. I think there's not that many at this point that doesn't have sports betting.
It's not here.
Right? What, in Missouri?
No, Hawaii.
Okay, in Hawaii? I didn't know if they legalized it yet, but most states are legalizing sports betting. Illinois, it's been legalized for almost 5 years at this point, at least. It's just getting to the point where states are legalizing it. You're going to see it more and more. Is it annoying? Yeah, I would say it is, because frankly, I'm not a betting guy. If I go to a casino, I play video blackjack and just play it just for just a few $1 hand, and that's it. I don't do sports betting. I think it's just frankly stupid.
Do you guys remember this scandal? AI Overview, the gambling scandal involved in illegal sports betting ring covered where Wayne Gretzky's wife, Janet Joan Gretzky, and several were implicated. Rick Toshett, the assistant coach for the Phoenix County, center of the ring, partnering with the New Jersey State Trooper and other individuals to operate the betting operation. Here's a break. I think I remember hearing about it. I don't know much more about that.
I don't remember it per se, but I know about the story. Like, I've read about it a couple of times. I haven't, because 2006 I wasn't really into hockey yet.
Yeah.
So I was what?
I remember hearing something about it. I mean, I've
read about it.
Every sport has had some type of gambling scandal in it. Every sport.
I think it was called Operation Slapshot.
Right. I mean, you go back. Baseball had the Black Sox in 1919. Right. I know football. I don't know exactly what football had, but I know football had a few. NBA had the Tim Donahue or Donaghy scandal. There was a really good documentary on that on Netflix. Right? I know. I know the NCAA's had a couple of scandals in both basketball and football. Hockey's had a few. On this one, I know there's been some other ones.
Shane Pinto is most recent knowing of betting on.
Mm-hmm, yep, I do remember that one.
Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators. He got a half-season suspension for, was it sports betting? It was sports betting, but not on the NHL. It was like on other sports.
Yeah, so the NHL employee is not allowed to gamble at all. They're not allowed to go to a casino. Like when they're in Vegas, they are not allowed to go into the casinos. Right? They're not allowed to go there. Well, they're allowed to walk through they're not allowed to sit at a table. They're not allowed to put a dime or a quarter or a penny in a slot machine.
Tell that to the Washington Nationals player. I think it's 2 years ago. He got basically kicked out of the Nationals because the Nationals were in Chicago to play the Cubs. 1:20 Friday start at Wrigley Field. The guy comes walking out of the casino around 8 a.m. He was there all night at the tables because there's an actual casino in Chicago now.
Yeah. They have riverboat casinos, right?
No, it's not. They don't do riverboat. They have a land casino in Chicago.
Well, it was riverboats. Now
it's a Valley Casino in downtown Chicago.
It's close to the lake, though, right?
No, it's downtown.
Oh? Okay. Well, I guess Chicago's opened their things a little bit.
Illinois, they can put casinos anywhere now. It's not like You don't have to have it on a river, bro. They can
Yeah.
have
Oh.
it in casinos.
Did you see the bar rescue episode for Vitaly's Hideaway?
No, I couldn't find it.
It is out if you go on Paramount Plus. I think it's there.
I looked for it. I didn't see it.
Yeah. No, it's out. I saw it. I have a hard time watching bar rescue. I really do. And I tried to watch this season because they did 4 places or 5 places in the St. Louis area, right? 2 in Illinois, or actually 3 in Illinois, and 2 in the St. Louis area, right? They did one. They did Vitaly Hideaway. They did Alton. They did one in Alton called the Airplane, right? Which is like right across the river. They did another one, and then they did one that was in Maplewood, and then they did one that was about 50 miles in Missouri, about down 44 or down 44, I think. They did one of those, but they did 5 in the area. But John Choffer going in there and yelling like he does. Carlisle, yeah, they did one in Carlisle. Thanks. That's not necessary. You don't need to throw food around and get that's. It's just not necessary. That's
a little overkill.
Well, the thing is if a real boss did that and an employee filed a complaint, the employee would win. Right?
They do it all for TV.
Yeah, but the thing is, because I asked, I talked to the owner of Vitaly's, he's a friend of mine now, and he said, "Oh no, it's exactly like you see it on TV. It's not." But why? Why? It doesn't. You can get your point. To me, you can get your point across a lot better without screaming at people and throwing food around, because they tune you out. In fact, in one of the places, a guy that had been there 20 years quit. Come on, right? The last topic on our schedule was Doug Armstrong had said after they signed Suter, basically put the gone fishing sign up. Problem is he didn't. They ended up doing the see, the thing with the TV, the on ice product, right? They did very well with. This off ice product, I think, is going to affect the on ice product, unfortunately. And the reason I think it's going to affect them, opening game. How many people are going to be, we want John chant happening. We want JK chant happening. Right? At opening night. And you have a we want John JK chant. That puts a sour taste right in the beginning, and that concerns me. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to be concerned here?
I think people have a right to be concerned. I think people, like I was saying, I think people have a right to be angry. I agree.
Oh, I agree with that.
I think people have the right to be angry. Like I said, I'm taking a more positive approach to this. I'm disappointed he doesn't get the proper send off, but I'm also thinking about it like this. I'm glad that they did it now. If they were going to do something like this instead of waiting, because we still got a couple months. Hockey's it's coming up quick, but we still got a couple months. So there's still time to, to see how everything kind of, if things mellow out or they escalate more, in that time, because we still got 3 months, until opening day. So, things could really mellow out by that point, and we could hear more from John Kelly too. I don't know how much he's actually spoken on the matter, physically himself. So we could still hear things from him as well.
I don't think he said anything.
Okay, so that leaves room for him to possibly, come out with something that we as fans don't know, too. So you never know.
I saw something during the preseason last year, and I'm not sure. I don't know if I should say what I saw or not, but it was an impression. And my impression was, so, the Blues practice in 2 of the 3 arenas, right? They have three arenas at their practice facility. They have the NHL rink, the Plager rink, and the USA rink.
Yeah.
The Blues themselves will practice in the NHL rink and or the USA rink, not the Plager rink, right?
Yeah. Yes.
In the NHL rink, I was there, and I know some of the media, so I was up where the media was. And then I went over to the USA rink, and JK's sitting by himself in the USA rink.
Yeah.
And I waited for, like a break in the action before I went up and said hi to him and talked to him for a few minutes. But it even while he was there, it just felt like he, why wasn't he with the rest of the media? It just, it struck me as odd, I will say. And I've heard some of the discussion that feels like he's just mailed it in the last couple of years. And it's possible. I don't know. But,
and that's kind of what I was saying about, like, maybe, as angry as fans are right now, I got to think about it like this. Maybe this is, also what John Kelly wanted. I mean, do I think maybe in my heart that's true? I doubt it. I think that he loved what he did, for the Blues, and I think the fans really admired his work. But who knows? He's getting older. He wasn't going to be doing this for much, much longer, I don't believe. So, yeah. I mean, maybe he was just all right. Maybe they're like, okay, sorry, John. We got to part ways with you, and maybe he was just like, I understand. It maybe could just be as simple as that, or maybe there's something that comes out.
Well, his contract was up, and maybe he just decided not to negotiate it.
Yeah, maybe. Right? You never know. There's always, what do they say? There's always 3 sides to every story.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Right. So tomorrow we're going to. I'm going on the NHL Network. Yay me! Yes, I've been invited back on the power play with Mick Kearns. And, I wanted to give everybody a chance. What? I'm going to kind of open up the formula. What would you like me to say or talk about tomorrow when I'm on the show? And I already know what Justin wants. Justin wants me to say his name. So.
Oh, I want you to tell them how handsome I am.
All right. But to me, we've talked about this before, and I'll go over it kind of real quick. If I was to grade the Blues off season, right, the way I would do it is I got to start with the Hofer signing, or not Hofer. Yeah, Hofer, right?
Yeah, Hofer. Yeah, Hofer. Yeah.
The Hofer signing, and go down the line of what happened. You have the Hofer signing. You have the draft. Then you have the Bergstrand or the Mailou trade.
Yeah.
Bergstrand.
Bukestad.
Was that a trade or a signing? That was a signing.
That was a
right?
signing. Yeah.
Then you have the Suter signing.
No, the Bolduc trade, right? The Bolduc trade comes before the Suter signing, right?
Yeah, I said the Mailou.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. My bad.
It was Mailou, then Bergstrom, right?
Mailou, yeah.
Mailou, yeah. And then you have the Bally Sports or the FanDuel Sports Network thing, right? If I look at these and take them individually, I give an A to Hofer. I think that was. I think the money was right. I think they got it done before somebody came out there and threw a offer on the table. Well, actually, then you got to throw the Kyrou stuff in there too, right? Before somebody gave them an offer that they'd have to taken, one they'd be stupid not to take. So I give them an A for that. Then you come into
the draft, right?
Kyrou. Well, before the draft was Kyrou. Or no, Kyrou was after the draft, right? To come into the draft. Now, a lot of people did not give the Blues a great draft score, but I think they looked at the draft wrong. To me, the Blues drafted 6 players on draft day, not 3.
Yeah.
And I see Wendy giving me a weird look.
Right? Yeah, we're talking about because we got those picks because we got Holloway and Broberg.
So the first round pick, and I don't have it pulled up here. I'll have to pull it up and make sure I write it down before tomorrow.
Justin Carbonneau,
right? Yeah. We have Justin Carbonneau. Our second round pick was Philip Broberg. Our third round pick was Dylan Holloway. Our fourth round pick was
I can't even give you the name, to be honest.
Was Texier. Our fifth round pick was Fedorov, right? Mm-hmm. And our sixth round pick was Hernstrom. Seventh round, I'm not worried about. The seventh rounder almost never makes the NHL, right? So when you put all that together, I think they get an A- for the draft. I think they did very well. The only loss, the only negative I see in that entire draft is Texier. I think that was a waste of a fourth round pick, to be honest with you, at least at this point.
I think, well, I mean, I knew coming into it, I liked Texier. He had, he's young. He has, he still has the potential to be, I mean, I don't think he's going to be, some big role addition to the Blues by any means, but he didn't get a crazy chance here, but I think for me, like if I'm great, like if you gave it an A-, I would say A-, or I would say B+. I maybe lean a little bit more B+, probably area.
Wendy?
For me, I'd look at it by what you were able to get at the draft, not by giving up to get picks or give up picks to get players. Yeah. So, personally, only having 3 draft picks in the actual NHL draft, that's not the best for a system, in my opinion. At least have, in my opinion, 5 picks usually that's pretty good to have a draft. Carbonneau was a good pick for you guys. I think if Carbonneau wasn't picked by you guys, he was headed to Montreal.
Yeah,
I will say that right now.
Which would have been interesting if the Bolduc trade also went through to Montreal after. Would have got 2 decent players. Like.
I understand Wendy saying that you're looking at actual draft picks, but I find it hard to sit there and look at that second, third, and fourth round pick and not say, well, what did we get for them?
I mean, Texier's a lost cause for, honestly. Is he even on your guys' roster anymore?
Yeah, he still is. He's
going to be
Okay.
He's going to be a scratch.
He's going to be an extra forward.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be an extra scratch.
I get Broberg was a good move for the first sheet you guys end up doing successfully. Same with Holloway.
Yeah.
But I look at a draft and see what could be coming your way. And frankly, the only player in your guys' draft is Carbonneau. That's it.
I like Hernstrom at the 6th round. Picking a goalie in the 6th round.
Yeah, picking a goalie is always a smart move to have. In my opinion, if you can draft a goalie, it's always a smart move in an NHL draft. But it's something like it's a slim chance he makes the NHL still.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
No, I just was saying I was going to say Wendy, I don't know if I don't want to speak for you guy or anything like this, but I think the way that like we're kind of thinking about it is like, I get what you're saying about like, you should be looking forward to like what you're getting, draft wise. I think the reason like guys like saying like, oh, well, we got Holloway, we got Broberg and those, those specific rounds because, that's what we got when we offer sheeted them. I think it's because those guys are so young. They're still so young, and they still have so much potential that that is the future of the Blues.
Okay.
I think that's kind of what I don't know, Guy, if that's what you're kind of getting at with that, but
it's sort of there, but it's also, you can't sit there and go, well, you only drafted 3 players. Well, no, hold on. I had a second round pick. What did I get for that second round pick? I got Philip Boberg. Philip Boberg gave me a full season in the NHL, and it's going to give me a full season next year, and has the potential to give me, a potential to be a cornerstone of this team.
I will say, technically both. I get what you're saying. Technically not full seasons because both guys got injured, but I do know what you mean.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean. Not to make it technical or anything, but
yeah.
I get what you mean.
Then you look at the third round with Holloway. Holloway is going to be a cornerstone. Holloway's not going anywhere, right?
No, they're going to lock Holloway down.
If you can only afford Boberg or Holloway, you're giving the money to Holloway. I'm telling you that right here, right now, in the story. You're giving the money to Holloway. When those 2 signings came out, I thought Holloway was the better signing. And I'm going to stand by that.
Broberg, the Blues will do everything in their power to keep them both. I almost assure you that. I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, Holloway probably will be for sure, especially if he has another season like he did this year.
Right, and then you have Texier, and Texier's the loss. Texier's the miss. That's the swing and the miss. Right, 4th round pick. Okay, how bad is swinging and missing in the 4th round? Not that bad. I mean, if you swing and miss in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round, then I got an issue. But in the 4th round, how many? I mean, go back 10 years. How many 4th rounders played more than 100 games in the NHL?
Mm-hmm.
That number's not going to be super high, is it?
No. Well, and I don't like to devalue any draft, but I mean, I can't. We talked about it before the draft, Guy. The draft class of this season was not as extravagant as years prior. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad class, but it was not as extravagant as it has been.
Yeah, no, I mean, Wendy talked about that, right?
Yeah, it was a weak draft. Next year, we're going to look at a draft where it will be a lot deeper in the 1st round and fall off afterwards. Mm-hmm. But it's not like as deep as you saw it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I just think, so when you put all that together to me, that's an A, right? That's an A. And
is Texier going to play for France in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if he made the France Olympics.
Yeah, he did. I remember seeing something about that. The entire point of trading the picks was to have folks hitting the prime at the same time as Thomas and Kyrou hit there. Yeah. And I think it was it worked. It kind of worked. And then you get to the Bergstrand signing and the Suter signing. The Bergstrand signing, B+ for me. The Suter signing, I think, is an A. Out of that one came out of nowhere. But the thing with that is when it first got reported, they had it at 2 years for $2 million per, not $4 million per. When it first got announced, I was happy. Oh my goodness, that's great money. But when it came out at $4 million per.
When did you get Bjorkstrom?
Did I say it
no,
wrong?
it's Bukestad. Nick Bukestad.
Oh, Nick Bukestad.
Right.
Yeah, Nick Bukestad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, when did you get Bjorkstrom?
I'm sitting with names.
Yeah, no, Nick Bukestad from Utah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick Bukestad. Yeah. Yeah, that was an upgrade over. I mean, it's kind of neck and neck. The thing that Fosca did well that most of the centers didn't do well for us, like too crazy well, was faceoffs. Foxa was a faceoff magician last season. So I mean, you miss a little bit of that edge, but you get a better offensive player.
This is what the Blues are spending on their centers, their 4 centers, right? That projected 4 centers: 8.125, 6.5, 4.125, and 1.75.
Mm-hmm.
A little on the high side in my eyes.
Yeah. The way I think about centers, though, is centers is always when you think about it, centers is our centers are always going to go. I think a little bit higher. For me, it's the most important. It's the most important forward position. Out of the left wing, right wing, center. Center is the most valuable position. Forward wise. Because you have to be a good two-way center.
Right. I get it, but you're like last year we were complaining with Foska about him making 3.25 or 125 or whatever it was as a 4th line center, and here you have your possible 3rd line center making $6.5 million.
Yeah.
Wait, he's Bukestad's making 6.5.
No, Bukestad's going to be on the 4th line.
No.
Bukestad is making one.
Bukestad's making 1.7. Shen is making 6.5. I can see Suter at 4.1 being that number 2 center.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be. I know that in Vancouver, Suter played 2nd line minutes, so I know he's capable of playing that. And maybe that's the goal. Maybe they want to try to get Shin to move down to the 3rd line. I mean, that would be ideal. And have him play with have a hard-working center and Suter who could also play defense while Holloway and Kyrou work their magic on the wings.
The only thing with that is Suter going to give you the face-off wins?
Yeah, that's the thing. With the 2 guys that we got to replace Foxa and Sundqvist, the 2 are a little lower on the scale, especially Foxa. Foxa had the best face-off percentage last season, and both the guys that we got signed have a lower face-off percentage. But who knows? Maybe they improve. I think our face-offs have never been spectacular by any means. I would love to see Thomas even better in the dot, but Thomas is not terrible in the dot. Like sometimes he has some really, really good games.
Yeah.
But it's about good puck control. Like that's what I think made the 4th line so successful. Is I know that we give a lot of praise to Walker, about being the heartbeat, and I do agree with that. But Foxa really allowed that line to get puck control, which really helped that line.
Yeah.
With faceoffs.
I just look at I don't know how to say this. I mean, to me, Foska was making too much money for what he was doing, and he wasn't the heart and soul of that line, right?
Oh, I do agree that he was making way more money than he should have been making, but I think for like I said, I think we look at it as like, oh, Walker, like I said, is the heartbeat of that line, and he was, the heart and soul of that line, but you got to give praise to that line as a whole and not just one guy, because Foxa really did bring out a lot of good stuff in that, and in those 2 other guys as well. He was making too much.
There were games where to me Walker was the heart and soul of that line. There were games where Walker wasn't there, and you could just tell. The team wasn't the team without Walker in the lineup. And that line wasn't the same. It didn't have the same energy. It didn't have the same outcome as it did as when Walker was in the lineup. I think Walker raised both Torpachenko and Foska to a higher level with how he is. Right? I don't know. I'm okay with Foska not being re-signed.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he definitely was making too much for a 4th line guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about it as like as what he played on that line role rise. But I think Bukestad, I'm not crazy on the guy, but I think for the money, it's a good signing for the fourth line. I think he has a more offensive upside than what Fox had.
Yeah. And then you have the Letty situation, and I think they get an A for that. Oh, did that just? I mean, you one or two things was going to happen with Shen Walker Torpachenko, the SWAT line.
Is there? You got Wendy? You got any thoughts on your favorite defenseman on Blackhawks history, Nick Leddy, or what?
You mean I actually liked Letty in Chicago. I just thought he did cough up the puck way too much when he played. He was only when the Hawks got rid of him, it was after his third year in the NHL. They traded him for literally nothing because what the Hawks got from New York for him was Billy Polka, who never played for the Blackhawks, a fifth round pick that never played in the organization. So I'm like, we got nothing for Nick Leddy back when we traded him. I liked Letty. I'm just glad now he's in San Jose. So.
Yeah, he is. The way I think about Letty is weird because Letty got a lot of hate, and he was definitely making way too much. But he got better. Honestly, I told Guy this when we were doing this. Guy, I don't know if you remember, but when I was talking about how when Letty got injured, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I don't want to see anybody get injured, but like, look at that injury for him. He was not playing good at all. He was getting ripped to shreds, and then he got injured, and he came back, and then they paired him with Tucker on the third pair, and he was actually good. He was serviceable, and that's where he should have been playing. But that's too much to pay a guy for playing third pair defense minutes. You can't pay that much for a guy who plays third pair.
Yeah, I got you, and I'm on the same page with you there.
I was saying this. I was kind of open for the Blackhawks to have claimed him off waivers, mainly because we could use a veteran defenseman. We only have one defenseman in their 30s, and the second oldest defenseman is Alex Vlasic, who's 24.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a young D4.
I think for most Blues fans, what kind of got lost in translation is what Nick Leddy did really, really well was the breakout, ability. Like he was so good. He was so good at using his feet and moving them quickly and getting out of the zone, all by himself. Like, I think that really got lost in translation for Blues fans. Like, I don't think Nick Leddy was as bad as people, harp on it.
It's the same thing with
Justin
Scandella.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Scandella was an absolute whipping boy, and Scandella wasn't as bad as everybody made him out to be.
Every team has a punching bag. I guess Nick Leddy was your guys's.
No, I would say Justin Falk. I would say Justin Falk, Nick Leddy are whipping boys here for sure. I would say
Falk's is getting a bad rap because Falk's not bad at all. Falk is actually kind of the heart and soul of that defense.
The thing with what I see, me and you talk about this all the time, guy. The thing that is frustrating for me, especially when it comes to Blues fans, is I think we're passionate, and we're not Toronto passionate. We're not like throwing our jerseys on the ice and being all OD about it, but like. The same people that hate on Justin Falk and say like, "Oh my God, he's the worst defenseman, getting him off my team." God, Justin Falk is horrible. Like, these are the same people that praised him and were just absolutely riding his meat stick when he had those two great seasons when he came here. And I was like, okay, give it time. When he first came to St. Louis, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know about this trade," and I'm like, just give it time. Watch, you're gonna like Justin Falk. And guess what happened? Everybody liked Justin Falk, and now everybody wants him gone. It's just it's fickle.
I'm okay with Falk. I'm okay with Falk completely.
I'm just
And I
wondering
think
who will be the
overall,
punching bags for
I'll put this. I mean, this is way more time than I'm going to have to talk on the radio. But if I look at the Blues offseason overall, right now, up to now, I give it. I would have been in a solid A. I've kind of slipped to a B plus, because I really do feel that the off ice issue of John Kelly could affect this team in a negative way.
I don't think it will affect the team like on ice performance wise, mainly because it's two different entities if you think about it that way.
It is, but if your fan base is going to come into the opening game of the season and be upset, that translates to the ice.
Yeah, well,
that really does translate to the ice.
Oh, and I get what you're saying, guy. But I'm also gonna reserve, because that hasn't happened yet. So I get what we're saying. Like, yeah, that could be terrible if it does happen. But I'm not gonna.
There's a petition going around to get JK back.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I understand people are angry, but you gotta let things play out. And I know that sucks for to say sometimes, but like, people are so instant gratification all the time, and I get it. He deserved his send off. He deserved a proper send off, but it just didn't happen. We have to wait until we hear extra information about what happened. Like I said, we could get a report saying that he wanted, John Kelly wanted to go. Maybe he wanted to just call it quits.
Last thing I want to do, I want to ask you, I've been doing kind of like these things for the show promos. What did you guys think of today's promo?
I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
What about you, Wendy?
Not bad, I guess.
I know, Justin.
I just said not bad.
Huh?
I know I was telling you about I don't hate it, but I think that the other two, I like the one that they use on the pants for the away jerseys. Yeah, the STL.
I could put that in there.
But I mean, it doesn't take away from it. I mean, I think it's good. I think it covers all the topics that we talked about. So I mean, it does the job.
I mean, if you want, I can help you get like where it's changed the logo that you had, because I could see the old Blues logo.
Yeah, well, you got to remember. So remember, I showed you, Wendy, the background I have. That logo was part of the background. I don't have a way to make it. I don't have a way to like square it off and pull it off.
I know how to if you want me to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do it without affecting what's behind it.
I can do it.
Right? I'll see if I can send you one, as clean as I can. One. I think I showed you I have one clean one.
Okay.
Right? Hold on.
I mean, if you want, I can even create you a whole new background where it still has some of the elements you have.
Yeah.
And just up, like, where it's, like, kind of updated.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. This is... I don't know if I can put them both. No. Okay. So this is the cleanest one I have. I'll show you that to you real quick. That's the cleanest one I have.
Okay.
Right? Where there's nothing but just says the blue. Actually, and the blue. I don't even think the BlueNote Fan Report at top. I don't think that's there on that one. To be honest, it's not.
Okay.
That's from the BlueNote Fan Report that you see at the top is from the original background, right?
All right.
Now, here. Now, can you see it?
Yeah, I could probably
There's no BlueNote Fan Report to it. And then I have one where it has the BlueNote Fan Report in white, one that looks more like this, with that being right here. Okay. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving.
No, I can't.
Okay. So that is where the Blue Note is. It's right next to it. Okay. Let me, hold on. Give me just a second. Just a second. I just went past it. I just saw it and went past it. There we go. So that. You see it now, Wendy?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I really do like this picture. You know, the semi-imposed picture of me. The problem is it's over the old Blue Note. I don't know if there's a way, and I don't have this, I don't think I have a copy of this picture. That's the problem. I mean, maybe you can take the Blue Note away, but the old one that's semi-imposed in the back, I don't know if you can take that away. You know what I mean?
I don't think I will be able to remove that part, but I know I could remove the
this one here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I will be able to remove the ghosted one, but I could definitely remove the one up top.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of.
Yeah, I'm just saying I can help you out if you want me to.
It looks like it'd have to be like you'd have to like use a completely different backdrop if you wanted to make it different, like where it's the one in the back.
If I could find that picture, which I think I know where it is, if I have that the picture of me fist bumping,
yeah,
right, and I could send that to you, and then you could do the ghosted elements with the new note.
If you want, if you could find the picture, I could probably throw something together and get it done pretty quick.
Okay, I'll try that because I do like the overall background, the overallness of this.
Yeah,
like this in and of itself, I like that. Right. The reason I like that is because it's easy to do this, right here. You know, where I have, I can put the topics here. I have words up here. I have down here, like for game days, I can put the Blues logo and then the other team's logo and then the information here, right? I like that. I like being able to do that, and it's just, here overall, I know. The only thing that makes this look busy to me is the logo over the logo.
Yeah.
If that wasn't there, if I would have taken that out and just left the old logo, but then again, someone would have complained about me having the old logo there, right? This would have been absolutely fine, right? I don't think anybody's going to complain about the Arch logo because most people love it. The only thing I'd like to do with the Arch logo is be able to take the white out without removing the white from inside the logo. Does that make sense?
Could you? I don't. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know how you could.
Well, when you do a chroma key, unfortunately, it chroma keys the whole picture. You can't have it do just certain areas, right? So, I mean, I would have to have had a way to change, like switch the color inside, save it, do the like make it red on the inside. Right. Get rid of the white,
maybe you could
and then go back and turn that red into white again. That would be the only way that I think. But I'm not good enough with. I do this on a video editing software. Right. I do it on video editing software that I have. I don't. I have a photo, like Photoshop or that comes with this. To me it's really hard. I don't understand it enough to make to use it, and I've tried watching videos. And it just seems really complicated to me. Mm-hmm. So I don't do it as much as I probably should. But.
Here, guy, I will just do a share screen because I can just show you what I basically do as a thumbnail type of thing.
Okay.
Hold on. Then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I think it's showing.
Is this what you want me to add there, Wendy?
Yeah, go ahead. So, this is how I go ahead and do, thumbnails for games and stuff.
Yeah.
I could easily throw something together. So, I have almost a template where I use, for instance, this one. I use, this is a game in Colorado. I put Denver in the background.
Yeah.
Ghosted a Blackhawk logo. Ghosted a Colorado logo.
Yeah.
Right here, it's all messed up because I was just tooling around with my logo at the time. And I can move out players.
I mean, I kind of can do some of that too. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I can.
Here's a more something I did a couple of days ago. I have all these confetti things I've added to it for the 7th anniversary and stuff.
What software are you using for that?
This is Canva.
What?
Canva.
I've never heard of that.
It's an online software. This is how I actually do all my video editing and everything. I can show you something here.
Yeah.
I think I learned I didn't learn a crazy amount of it. I do know what Canva is. Like, I've heard of it. I've never used it or nothing, but I do know that it's seemed to be a pretty good software tool.
Oh wow, they changed this. You can't share. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, never mind. Just the way they did it.
So yeah, I even do video editing on Canva.
Give me a second, and I'll bring up mine here in a moment. I'll bring up mine here in a moment. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's not what I wanted. Hold on, man. I'm just being a dum-dum today.
While you kind of look for that guy.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask Wendy, what did you think? I know we talked about the Blues schedule. What did you think about the Blackhawks schedule this season?
It's very road heavy to start the season off. For a team who's celebrating their centennial, I would have thought they would have opened up the season at home, not in Florida, against the defending champions on their banner raising ceremony. The NHL, in my opinion, put together a schedule that's kind of weird for the Hawks' point of view, because they made it to the point where it's almost like there's no rivalry matchups that are going to make sense. Like the Blackhawks and Blues matchups, they have two that are 8:30 puck drops in local time, which makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
And that it was interesting. 9 o'clock puck drops because they're either a TNT game or an ESPN game, because they always delay those games by like 30 minutes from actual scheduled post.
Yeah, them time frames are weird. I think when it comes to schedules, it's always interesting to see. Like, I've never been a fan of like the day games, just in my opinion. Usually sometimes I forget that they're even on. But I know a lot of people don't like the late games either. So
I like a good. In my opinion, a perfect start time is either 6 o'clock or 7.
I think 7 o'clock is the better start time, to be honest.
I would say this, that when the Hawks played in the COVID season, all their puck drop start times were 6 o'clock Central Time, and I was loving it because I got finished up watching Blackhawks hockey by 8:30ish at the latest, and it made it so much better. I was able to pump out my videos.
That's great. Well, the thing is, during that period, people weren't driving to the games.
Oh yeah,
people weren't driving home from work. People weren't. So at that point, it makes sense to do that. Whereas when you have people that are, get off at 5 and your game starts at 6, now you're really limiting, and you're making people try to go to the game during rush hour. Right?
Yeah, I know, but there's one thing with the Hawks schedule I've never cared about.
Yeah.
Home games at the United Center during weekdays have always been a 7:30 drop.
Yeah.
So we're the latest team in the Central Time to have like a 7 o'clock puck drop.
Yeah.
When it comes, because most, like, I'm counting like Utah and Colorado. I get there in the Mountain Time zone.
Yeah.
Their start times are 7 o'clock local time. The Blackhawks start times are always 7:30 local time.
Yeah.
So I wish we can see more games where they are earlier start times, especially with me having a half season ticket plan.
Yeah.
You get out of the United Center at 9 o'clock and be home earlier versus I show up. If I have tickets to the Hawks versus Blues game in the United Center at 8:30, I'm probably going to get rid of those tickets. I'm almost guaranteeing it because that means I'm going to get out of the United Center at midnight and wouldn't be home.
Got a 5-hour drive back, right?
I wouldn't be home till probably 4:30 at the latest.
I understand, how weekend games and week games are, different and all that. But man, the variety of time frames that you get, and especially like it could be like from game to game, like the difference is just crazy.
I get it. So here's my software. This is the software I use, the video editing software. This is video, but I use it to make a picture. So I have all the way at the top here. This is the main background. I can kind of like show you here. There's my main background there, right? And that's my highest. So that's all the way in the back, and then everything else lays over that.
Okay.
Right. At different levels. So whatever level I have it laying over is the level. So the next thing that would lay over would be this here, right? To join the discussion. So anything that I would put after that would cover that up.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I put, let me come back over here. If I take this here, which is this logo here, this one here, it would cover that up. But see how it's behind the other stuff? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I could see what you're talking about.
It's leveled, right? The lower the level number, the deeper it is, right? So the background is what do they call? I forget what this is called. Tracks is track 1, right? And then the join the discussions on track 2. Justin and Guy is on track 3. Because like if I take Justin and Guy here and move it, you'll see it sticks on top of some of this stuff. Right? Where it won't go behind it. Right? Whereas different things will go behind things. Like right here, this Gone Fishing is the highest level thing. So it's going to be on top. It's track 12, so it's going to be on top.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Right. I thought this was a neat layout. I thought it covered everything. This is actually the schedule that was released today. Right. And then like what I was talking about, let me kind of show you this here with this one. Let me pull it out here. So here's this, right?
Yeah.
I can take it and I can do what's called a chroma key, right?
Yeah, to make it a transparent background.
So what I would do, if I come over here, see what it does there?
Yeah.
It takes the white out. Problem is, I would like to keep the white in the middle.
I know how to fix that.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know how to fix that type of stuff.
And then, the white in the blue, that's in the blues and the white that's along the, if I remove this, or here we go, I got it deranged. Like the white that's around the yellow, I would like to keep. And the white that's in the, inside it, everything that's inside in that one white band, I'd like to keep.
Is there a white band on that logo?
I think it looks like there. If I do the chroma key, it kind of looks like there is. Well, it's not, but when you do the chroma key, so let me do it here again. Right, so watch what happens to that yellow as we kind of take it out. See how it's kind of like losing that as it goes away. It kind of eats into the yellow.
Yeah.
So if you kept a solid white band around it, it would.
I actually know how to make that have a transparent background where it will still have the white in the background of the Arch and the Blues logo.
Yep.
I know how to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, but everybody's going, what the fuck are these guys talking about? John, I wanted you to send me a message. I need to talk to you about that so I can figure out if I can be home while you go to one of your games. Right? Well, guys, we went way too long. I think I have plenty of stuff for tomorrow. 4:15 St. Louis time, NHL Network. I think it's channel 92. Is that right? Wendy?
91.
91? No, I thought it was 92.
NHL Network Radio?
Yeah.
It's channel 91, I thought.
Double check that.
Channel 91.
91. Okay. So on NHL Sirius Network, channel 91, I'm going to be on at 5:15 or 4:15 St. Louis time, 5:15 Eastern time with Mick Kearns talking about the Blues offseason. I'm glad. I was so worried I wasn't going to get invited back. You know, it was like a one-time thing. But I mean, it sounds like, you know, inviting me back, and he reached out to me, not the other way around. You know, maybe he's going to have me on, you know, every couple of weeks during the season, right? Or if something happens with the Blues, you know, to talk about that. So I'm interested, and you know, maybe it's going to help my profile. I don't know. And Justin, I will do whatever I can to get your name out there, bud.
Oh no, you're good, man. You're good. I have no concerns, man. I'm happy for you. I can't wait to hear it.
Right.
I know I'll have to tune in possibly a little later because I'll be probably working.
What I will do, what I did last time is I recorded the video part of it because I normally they have you call in. Well, because of my ear problem, I can't call in. Right.
Mhm.
I need these to be able to hear, and they do video with me, and I can record that video. The last time I did it, I had a little bit of what do you call it? Feedback, right? Echo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of echo in it, but it wasn't too bad. And at one point it went away. I didn't change anything, so I think the echo was on their side. But I'll try and make that go away. And then I put it on my YouTube channel and then shared it. I think Wendy might remember that.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Done. I'm an idiot. We all know it. I'm messing around, guys. I like to mess around, have fun. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have one question for you. What
Fire
game,
away, Wendy, while I'm trying to do this. Go ahead,
what
bud.
game on your guys' schedule do you have marked as a game as that highlight game of the season for you guys this year?
I will give you my answer in a moment, Wendy. I have to actually pull up. I skimmed over it, but I have to kind of look at it.
I'd have to say right now at this moment, it's either going to be any Minnesota game with, you know, as long as Tarasenko's still there, because I'm a Tarasenko fan, or it's going to be Montreal coming with Bolduc. You know, I can't think of any other games where I'm sitting there going, that's a must-watch game for me. You know, maybe
I would say
it could be his last time.
Yeah, that will be a good one. I think obviously there's not much to it. I think the first time that we play Winnipeg again, seeing as we had the series, will be a good matchup as well. I would say I always like when we play Vegas, so getting to see maybe Marner, don the Vegas jersey, that'll be cool. But yeah, I mean, as for games that I'm like, man, like it's going to be just, I have to see it. I mean, I don't know if there's really any per se, but not that I can think of off the top of my head. Colorado's are usually interesting as well.
Okay.
So this was me being on under review with Mick Kearns, right? And I put that video on my page, on my YouTube page, and then shared it around. I will do the exact same thing.
Okay.
Right. I will do the exact same thing tomorrow. I'll set it up. I gotta found a couple of issues. I had like today. I was worried I wasn't going to get on because when I first came on, my browser wouldn't connect to my camera because it flipped. So I use OBS software to connect to here, but my camera is actually on my 4K, my little, I forget what the name of this device is. But I got a little device that connects to my camera to my computer, right?
Yeah.
And it was going to that directly. Well, that's also what's going directly to the OSB. So it's like two things. It's trying to read two things, and it wouldn't. So I had to figure that out, and I finally got it. So, yeah, I know we talked about a lot of different junk today, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Listen to me tomorrow. Hopefully, when a video puts out, you'll watch it, you'll share it, and they'll keep asking me on. I think we do a good job here. I think we have a lot of fun, and I can't wait. We play the Hawks. I know it's 4 times during the season, but it's actually 6.
The preseason, I don't count preseason games.
Yeah, I don't count preseason.
But you're still going to have them there. They're still there, and they still have. But hey, we're actually in the United Center this year, though, right?
Yeah, this will be the first time you guys are in the United Center in 2 years.
2 years.
Do we play? So I know we play them twice, obviously in the preseason. Do we play them later, later in the preseason, or are they both kind of close in the beginning? I don't remember the preseason schedule.
Middle and
Your
end.
guys'
Middle and
preseason
end.
schedule.
Okay, middle and the end.
Middle
Okay,
and end. I think it's like the second home game and then the last preseason game.
What is your guys' preseason schedule looking like? Because
we got 6 games.
Okay, the Hawks have 6 as well, which is their normal. Some teams have 8.
Yeah, we've had 8 the last couple of years.
The Hawks have never gone that many games for preseason.
I think they backed that off. I think they backed that off this season because of the change next year. That they're no longer doing the 8 games.
I will say when the Hawks play you guys for preseason. I have it right here.
September 27th and October
the 27th and the 4th. Yeah.
Okay. So they play the last game of the preseason is against Chicago.
Yes.
Okay. So that game will matter. The middle one I'm kind of like meh, but the last one they should have most of their guys who will actually be in the lineup.
The Blackhawks might not that game.
Yeah.
Might not. Yes.
The Hawks probably are going to.
Usually it's the 5th game, the game before the last one, that is your starters. That game is almost always your starters, and the last one is your guys, your fringe guys that are trying to get a roster spot.
Then again, this game is with the Hawks having their centennial season, they probably are going to end up playing their roster players the last preseason game. Because they do have to travel out to Florida just a few days later to go and play the Panthers. So with how bad this preseason went last year compared to recent years, I think the Hawks are going to end up playing their starting roster last preseason game.
It's actually interesting, Winnie, that because I was going to bring it up earlier when you were talking about how the Blackhawks are road heavy in the beginning of the season. You were saying, which is actually weird. It sounds like the Blackhawks got the Blues schedule because it feels like every season the Blues start heavy on the road, and actually I think we're starting more road heavy this year.
We don't this year.
I'm just saying this.
Yeah, no, I know we start home heavy this year.
The Hawks have started road heavy for a while. They haven't had a season opener at the United Center since 2017. They've been on the road to start their seasons the last 8 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, that's got to change.
Ours is almost every other year.
It's been ridiculous. I've been vocal about the Hawks need a home opener to start the season off. One of these years, right? Because it's been since 2017. They blew out
They would have done it Bedard's for rookie season.
Yeah, and they didn't because that was they put him up against Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby for the season opener. And now we're back on the freaking road to play the flippin' Panthers on their banner raising ceremony. This is the third banner raising ceremony the Blackhawks have played in the last 5 years.
If it makes you feel better, I'm not exactly thrilled, like out of my shoes excited. I mean, I know Guy is because Tarasenko, but like I said, I'm not a big Minnesota guy, so I'm like, I'm kind of like, meh.
We opened with Minnesota last year.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and they scored that damn goalie goal, so we got to get that taste out. So I like the fact that we're maybe going to get that taste out.
Hopefully,
I have 3 games circled right now on the Hawks schedule. To make sure are on my plan. Home opener for the pure fact the Hawks are celebrating their centennial, and it's against Montreal. I haven't ever seen them play Montreal yet in person. January 19th at the United Center, Winnipeg versus the Blackhawks. Jonathan Taze's first game back in the United Center. And the very last game of the season, it's against San Jose in the United Center for the tank off.
You went like you started up here and then like you just completely fell off a cliff.
I went for the very last game because it's going to be a true tank off in the last game of the year. I guarantee it, because the Blackhawks and Sharks are going to end up 31st and 32nd again for the third year in a row. Yeah. And you're going to see 2 teams trying to actively lose to try and get that first overall, best odds for first overall.
I got a question for you, Wendy. Last year, we're going to, hopingly, I don't know if I can make it home yet. I'm trying, okay? I want to do another Vitaly Hideaway preseason show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last season, you had the Blues as the worst team in the Central Division. I'm guessing they're not there this year.
I have them around 4th place to 3rd place. It's flips between the division right now.
It's a good division. You got them as a playoff team. I'm taking it.
Wild card.
I think they're better than a wild card, but it's going to see on who takes the step back, who takes the.
For me, sorry to cut you off, Guy. I don't mean to. I think, like I was saying earlier, how I alluded to it earlier. I think Winnipeg takes a step back. I definitely don't think that they win division. I actually, if I'm a betting man, I have Colorado winning the division this year. I think it's a safe bet. I think we could possibly see something else, because usually Colorado has kind of had this thing where they like kind of start off the season like really down usually, and then like they really pick it up. But I think that they're going to be strong. I think Colorado probably wins the division. I think Winnipeg takes a step back. I think Dallas, like I was saying earlier, I think Dallas kind of takes a little bit of a step back. I think they're competitive still, but I think they take a step back, if I'm honest. I think the thing that keeps them really afloat is Ottinger in the net. I think that definitely keeps them afloat at the top, for sure. But I think the Blues are I'm going to say probably 3rd if I'm a betting man, 3rd or 4th in the Central.
So for Colorado, I don't have my biggest problem with you putting Colorado is their goaltending. I don't think they still have strong goaltending. I think
they don't.
When it comes to goaltending, I think that they're 5th best in the league in the division, maybe.
Believe me, Guy.
The Hawks might have better goaltending than the Avalanche. I personally would take Spencer Knight and Arvid Soderblom over Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Really with you, actually. Justin, I don't mean to cut you off. If
No,
you
no,
wanted, and we can do the show with this a couple weeks from now or whatever, if you wanted to rank each team's goalie tandem, right?
yeah, I have no problem with that.
If you want to rank each team's goalie tandem, you'd have a hard time not putting the Blues goalie tandem at number one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be a little bit, but I don't think I would put them number one. But they are definitely, to me,
the only one that I think I might put above them, and I can't remember who their backup is Dallas with Ottinger. Their backup,
DeSmith, right? Is DeSmith their backup?
Right.
Casey DeSmith?
Not anymore, I don't think.
Or is it? It was Casey DeSmith at one point, but it's not him anymore. I guess I don't know who their backup is. Oh, do you mean?
Right now.
Do you mean in division guy? Or are you talking about in division?
In division.
Okay, yeah. In division, yes. In division, I would put the Blues at number one. Yes, in division, I would. Yes.
In the league, they might be 3 or 4.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about in the league. In the division, yes, I would put the Blues number one.
In the division, I know a lot of people don't like Bennington for whatever reason, and I saw a thing, fan voting, ranking Bennington like 14th. And there were 5 or 6 goalies that he's better than that were ranked ahead of him. I get that people don't like him. I get he's got a bad, he's got Brad Marchand reputation. I get that. But, like Brad Marchand, he's pretty damn good on the ice. And this is the first season since his first season where he's got a team in front of him that is really offensive focus with defensive responsibility. And I think Bennington can have, hot take, Bennington's a finalist for the Vezina.
I mean, you put it like this. We talked about it before. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but Bennington's a good goalie. If you think about it in a sense, like after the Blues won the Stanley Cup, the Blues were the best team in the NHL. The COVID season really, really screwed the possibility of it. But I also I look at that season. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. COVID season, let it over. The season that really hurt was 2022. 2022, I think the Blues make it to the final if Bennington does not get ran in the Colorado series. And I don't know if they win. But they have a good chance.
That was the season we had Montgomery as an offensive coordinator. Right? And that was
I think they win.
Bennington had a pretty good year there.
Oh yeah.
I have said this, and I think even Wendy, if he takes off his Blackhawks colored glasses, he would look at Bennington and say he plays better than his number.
I mean, I told you earlier, like 2 streams ago, that I said you guys have probably at a top 3 ranked goaltending tandem in the league.
Yeah.
Said that on a stream, and I hate Bennington, and it's well known I hate the guy.
Yeah, I get it, and I'm not taking that away from why he gets ranked so low. But when it comes down to it, in our division, if you're ranking goalie tandems, I can't find one better than Bennington and Hofer. I can't.
Yeah, I hate to like circle back almost, but like when we're talking about goaltending tandems, and like I said, it hurts my soul to put Colorado at first. Believe me, as a Blues fan, it hurts my soul completely. But it kind of, for me, the reason I have them high is because Nathan McKinnon, McCarr, and all that. And I do think, for me personally, I think the Avalanche took a step back. And I knew that they would take a step back, per se. But I think that they do have a strong team, especially with, Landeskog coming back. And, he'll be back for a season. I know he's getting older, of course. He's not.
Yeah, you're cutting out on us a little bit, Justin. No, I just
regardless of their goaltending tandem.
Yeah, you cut out on us there, bud.
Oh no, you're. I don't know where I cut out at, but I was just kind of explaining my reasoning because I don't like it as much as anybody. Obviously Blackhawks fan, two Blues fans. I don't like putting Colorado up top, and I don't like their goaltending tandem over there in Colorado. I think it's terrible. But
I just don't trust Colorado's depth at the center position, really.
Yeah, their depth is not good either.
Best center, they really have a weak center core on Colorado.
They do. It may be a hot take, and I may get a lot of flack, but I really don't care. Cale Makar, great defenseman, great player. Cale Makar is an offensive juggernaut. That guy is absolutely gifted offensively. He is very overrated defensively. I am sorry. People can flame me. Cale Makar is not a defensive juggernaut. I am sorry. I've seen him play many times. He is not a defensive juggernaut. He's an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's a Bobby Orr type, but yeah. Bobby Orr actually did play some defense. It just, for me, your season starts with goaltending. If you have a solid goaltending stand-up when you need it, and you need it, you can't win the Stanley Cup at the beginning of the season, but you can definitely lose one, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember going back a few years. Hey, Wendy, you might want to take your thing out of the. Oh,
I didn't realize I had a sharing. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to take. Okay. I didn't have it on the stream, but I wasn't sure if you wanted me to show that or not. And then I realized what you were doing. I was like, maybe you want.
No, I didn't realize I bumped share screen. That was an accident.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm trying to consider on buying it.
I mean, I go back to 2017-18. The Blues at the end of the first month were the best team in the league. They were like 8-1-1 at the end of going into the end of October. Mm-hmm. Huge first month, and they missed the playoff.
Yeah, drop
right?
off. Yep.
So you can't. But if you have a solid goalie tandem, and they didn't that year, your solid goalie tandem can win you 3 to 5 games that you should have lost. Mm-hmm. Right? I think right now, Bennington and Hoffer are in that range, and I'll give them 5 to 8. I think that they're going to get you 5 to 8 games that you probably should have lost. Right? Then I go back, and this is the argument I've had with people when it comes to Kyrou and Thomas and a few other players. They go, well, look at last year. And I said, yeah, okay. If you look at last year, you got to take the first 21 games of the season and remove it. Because that's when they had Bannister, and Bannister was defense. He started preaching defense. And it killed this team, and it killed these players' seasons. I honestly think when you take 21 games out and you look where Thomas finished, I mean, he projected at 95 points. He gets 5 to 6 more points in those 21 games than he got last year. He gets 10 more points. He gets something like that more. And I think that the money factor is really going to play into this. What do you think, Win?
No, I'm sorry. I just saw something that Connor McDavid just hopped on the ice for a beer league game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he literally hopped on the ice to play a beer league game.
Wow. That actually might be like against his contract.
I doubt it.
Like riding a motorcycle? Like they're not allowed to ride motorcycles.
I doubt it because players play in the beauty league in the off season. They also play in other things in the off season. I think McDavid just hopped on the ice to play, just basically have a easy go and just kind of train by playing a little beer league.
Yeah, maybe.
Not really training for him because let's be honest, he's going to destroy anyone on the ice.
I look at the Blues right now and I go, if you're not looking at this team and thinking future's really, really bright, then you're wearing windy colored glasses or you're wearing hate colored glasses, right? Because right now I think that they have the talent, and that's been we don't have the talent. We don't have the talent. And I so disagreed with that. You're muted, Justin. I so disagreed with that we do have the talent, that we didn't have the coach. And now I think we have the coach, right? I think we have the coach to compete with any team in the Central. Wendy, I'd really like to hear your opinion on this. Yes, I know we've been online for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I mean, you guys have one. When I said it when you guys hired Montgomery, it was probably the smartest move you guys made in the season to do it, because any team was going to hire Montgomery pretty quick. I was shocked the Hawks didn't go out and hire him because didn't the Hawks fired Richardson before the Blues fired and hired Montgomery, right?
Say again?
I believe
Yeah, they did. I
believe the Hawks fired Luke Richardson a few days before Boston fired Montgomery. I was shocked the Hawks didn't go out and try and do something to get Montgomery, because at that time they were the only team on the market to look for a head coach. And then St. Louis came around swinging and just picked him up off the market.
We St. Louis and Doug Armstrong, they were like piranhas in the water, man. Believe me. I knew they were hopping on that quick when Montgomery was like, that was such a dumb decision by Boston management. It's not even funny.
Well, Boston management's a bunch of idiots anyways.
Yeah, they are. That was so bad. I mean, I don't know how you let a guy like that go. You know, winningest coach or whatever percentage wise. You know, just crazy to me that they let him go.
That was more of a locker room issue. That was more of that was the
Bruins were broken.
Yeah, that was definitely the Indians running the tribe, right? That was the Indians in charge of the tribe. That's exactly what that was. I don't know if I think even if Chicago had the chance at running at Montgomery, I don't think that they were going to get Montgomery, right? Because here's what I think was going to happen prior to the Blues firing Bannister. When Montgomery, first of all, let's go back a year to season before last playoffs, and there was a definite feeling that if the Bruins got knocked out of the playoffs again in the first round, Montgomery was gone. The Blues had Bannister as the interim, and they kept him as the interim. As soon as the second round ended, all that talk, or as soon as the first round ended and the Bruins get into the second round, all of that talk about Montgomery goes away, and Bannister signed within a couple of days, right? So they were waiting to see if Montgomery was going to come available. This season, beginning of the season, they signed Bannister a 2-year deal, which puts him right at the end of the Armstrong-Steen switchover, right when that happens, and gives Steen a chance to get his own coach. Great. I had no problem with that. You go back to this season, and all of a sudden Montgomery is having the struggles that he's having, and again, they're not coach-related. You could tell. They're not coach-related.
It's a cult. I think it was a culture thing, in Boston.
Yeah, right? And he was calling players out.
Mm-hmm.
He was calling players out. So he gets let go, and the Blues have this 2-year contract with Bannister, and first of all, no team likes to eat a contract,
Mm-mm.
right? Because these guys have guaranteed contracts. You fire them, they eat it until they get hired by somebody else. If they get hired by somebody else, that contract goes away.
Yeah.
Bannister was not getting hired by somebody else. So if you fire Bannister, you're eating a year and a half, a year and 3/4 of the contract, or a year and 6/10 or whatever it was. Better than a year and a half of that contract.
I think like, not to get into it, and it's kind of crazy to think about. I love that we got Montgomery and that he's here now, but and you got to think about it like this guy, like how I was saying a few shows ago, when we were talking about Montgomery and all this. If you really think back to it, the season before we hired Montgomery, if you look at it like this, if Carolina, you know, walks from Rob Brindamore, I think Rob Brindamore is the coach currently of the Blues. That's just my opinion. Me personally.
See, at that point, I don't think Berube was as much on the. I think that the management saw what was happening, but nobody's watching us. Boy, we've been on too long. The management saw what was happening, but they also were like, it's too. We can't just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that. But with this thing that happened, I think they looked at possibly bringing Montgomery in as a coaching assistant or coaching, whatever you call it, like what advisor, right, for the rest of the season. And I think that's what the original discussions were. And I think Monty was probably dead on it. Yes, I'll do that. But then it comes down to the what do you call it? The Wishnevich comments. We don't even practice the offense. You can't win games 1-0, 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't win games 2. We don't even practice the offense. I think that comment right there was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
I think that right there that's enough. You know what? Even if you bring him in as an advisor, which I think, I mean, it wasn't talked about, but I think he was open to it.
Yeah.
This is the start. Like, no, nothing's going to change. So it's time to move on. We'll eat the contract for 2 years, and it's not that bad of a contract, so we can do it. Right. Yeah. Well, guys, I think I could talk for another hour. I really could, but it's nobody's watching, and I'm sure I've tired both of you guys out. It's only 4:30 here, so it's a little later there, right? But I appreciate you guys coming on. I could talk hockey. I've been wanting to talk. I told Justin the other day, I called him up, I just want to talk hockey. You're like, what do you want to talk? I just want to talk, man. So
I could go for another hour or two, but I definitely got duty calls tomorrow for sure.
Yep. So I look forward to having another show with you guys. I look forward to being on NHL Radio tomorrow. Wendy, thanks again, man. But you're great. Thanks for coming on and helping us out. We really do appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. And I do like that you're taking your Blackhawk colored glasses off a little bit.
Man, I'm in off season mode. I changed. Yeah. It's not much going on right now.
He said you're great. You're a Blackhawks fan. I'd say you're good. You get it. Just kidding.
I'm considering I'm buying a freaking another jersey right now because
I know that's right. That's why what I was talking about, because I could see what you were.
Yeah, I'm really debating on buying the Centennial Hawks jersey right now. I don't know yet.
I haven't even looked at it. I'd have to go and look at it for sure. I'm definitely wanting to add to my jersey collection as well.
If the Blues hit their centennial, I'm in trouble. Okay, because I'll be 99 years old. I'm 56. We got to remember our centennial will be short 1 year. Because of the Is this your 99th year of hockey or your 100th year of hockey?
It would be technically 99 because the Hawks were founded in 1926.
Yeah.
And they're celebrating their centennial this season, and I believe a little bit into next season as well.
Yeah, but you got to remember the 04 season that nobody played.
But the Hawks' first season was 1926.
Okay. So that's why. So actually, 98 season.
No.
Remember, nobody played hockey in 04. That season doesn't count. You have to take that off.
No, you don't, because actually you're still playing. The franchise is still another year older, so you have to look at it that way. You can't say the one lockout season counts towards losing a year of the franchise, because the franchise existed, the league was frozen, they locked out the players. They didn't lock out the teams, they locked out the players. Okay.
True, I get you now. But the Blues' first season was 67-68 or 68-67, 67-68 if I remember right.
Yeah.
I was born in December of 68. So they went to the finals in 68, 69 and 70. I think that's right. Yeah. So the Blues centennial season will be my centennial year.
Also. I'll just show you guys the centennial real quick. Why not?
Yeah.
I haven't bought it yet.
Put it on. I'll show it.
Yeah, I definitely want to add to my jersey collection as well. I want to get the red reverses, such. Yeah.
So is that up there in the corner? Does that say 100?
Yeah, that's the 100th patch. So okay. I will show you. So what the Hawks did here on the crest, they added a gold outline.
Yeah.
You could see it better right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was actually a phrase they brought back their old slogan from their 75th anniversary called Always an Original. Yeah. Makes sense. They're part of the original six.
Original six, yeah.
Here's the centennial patch.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
I like that.
The tomahawks kind of changed a little bit. This is not yellow. It's actually metallic gold as the C. Yeah. Back numbers actually have that metallic gold as well as the around it. So they did some changes to it, not much to look into it too terribly much for. Here's the inside of the bottom of
cup ears.
Yeah, the cup ears.
It's not. I like it. It's kind of, when I look at it, it's kind of the best way to describe it would be like expected in a way. Like it kind of like seems like, oh yeah, like it's 100-year celebration kind of jersey. Like we're gonna make it like gold outline. It's just kind of what you expect. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's out of this world spectacular.
The Hawks, in my opinion, didn't do much. In my opinion, the Hawks should have done something different. I have a concept that I created that I would have preferred them to go. I do know one thing. I was told this last year that the Winter Classic was probably supposed to be the home jersey for the Centennial.
Yeah.
Then they were told they're in the Winter Classic and they had to come up with a jersey for the Classic. So the Winter Classic from last year more than likely would have been the home jersey for the Centennial if the Classic didn't happen.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Well, guys, at 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think we should call it.
Call it. It's
right.
flat.
You guys have a great night. Everyone, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. To the 5 people, yes, only 5. Gabe Overturf, John Hefner, Chris Light, Aaron Nails, and Jason Nichols. Thank you for putting that thumb up in the air. We appreciate each and every one of you for watching tonight. Have a great one, and like I said, look for me to post tomorrow's interview on YouTube, and I'll put it on my Facebook page. I love you guys. See ya. Now, see, they changed all their media, so now I got to find where my stuff is to say, to cut us out of here. Here we go. Aloha, my friends.